to have me from the other side of West Africa.
Yeah.
Oh yes, my pleasure too. My pleasure too. You know, I was just reading. You know, we lost the Italian president.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just reading the politics around
That's
the medical.
yeah, we're live.
Oh, we're live already.
Yeah.
So,
So
and
I will send the link here.
Cameroon has had more cooperation with Nigeria in terms of fighting the insurgency. Unlike the other two nations.
We are happy to do that. I don't know how it happened.
But most of you guys are Nigerians. I don't know what part you're from, but most of the Anglophone people are people of Akwa Ibom, and all of that. You get for weight. This is fake. You know if you copy me, I did for your boy, you are late. Don't be a lie, my flow not crazy. I came to turn the
Yeah, so we're live. I send the link here. So we normally take the first moments before people join to share the link on our Facebook and Twitter and all the social media graphs, so people can join as we chat. Let me share on my wall.
I'm in Douala. Cameroon is fine.
Voila.
So, and we have what to eat every day, so Cameroon is okay.
Mashallah.
Interesting. Good. I am in Nigeria. I am in Abuja, Federal Capital City. That's where I'm based. And to some people who will be joining us Topo Spaces for the first time, Brian is a Cameroonian. He's presently in Brian is moving to a lot of places now. I don't know. Are you still in Maryland?
No, yes, I'm in Maryland. I'm in Odenton.
Okay.
But I'll be moving to Houston soon.
Yeah.
Let me put this man to sleep.
Okay. You see, we were just talking with Brian. Are you married, NZONDA?
Yes, I'm married and I've got a baby.
Oh, congratulations. So we were just talking with Brian. He came on the show. He has been coming on the show with his son. I mean, Andrel is just, I don't think it's up to 7 months now. But Brian has been taking care of him. He brings him to the show. He tells me that he used to bet him and all of that. And that hits me in a very special place in my heart. Because I also do that. In fact, I grew up with my mother doing that for my younger one. And I know that totally this is what we lost now in Africa. I mean, I'll speak for me and you, not for Brian. Brian is in America. This is what we are losing in Africa. Most of our peers, do not have that connection where you see a young man actually taking time to spend time with his babies, as much going as far as even bathing them and all of that while his wife is at work. So for me that means a lot to me to see a young father doing that to his young baby.
I mean, it's a little effort. It's quite rare in our digital age because digital creates a lot of distraction. So when we see such acts from male, it kind of gives us that hope, that sense of responsibility that things are not always what the mainstream or what society puts it to be. We can always make and feel comfortable how we want people around us to interact with us. I love that act, so it's just that I'm not around. The call caught me around my friend's house, so maybe I could show you. My son is like a month and a year old, a year and a month old. Yeah. So, I like to do videos training on Zoom and Google Meet. He's always around. So I basically work from home. So
nice.
I kind of like understand Brian a lot. It's quite enjoyable.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's quite enjoyable.
It
It's
is.
quite
Oh,
enjoyable.
It,
oh, oh,
yeah.
that's interesting. But then, Brian, if that is the case, then I like to start this show by calling on all men, especially people of our generation. That it's still fanciful. It's not just fanciful. It's still very good. To help our wives take care of our very very young babies. Just like what Brian has been doing here. And it's very good. It helps to improve your relationship with your kids. When you help the wife too, it helps improve your relationship with your wife. She will know that she really appreciates. For we Africa, they will say, me na man now, it consign me to the carry baby around. You know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I'll just let you in on one reality about that. There are times when it gets really frustrating, especially if you're trying to deliver a task, especially if you're not in the.
Mm-hmm,
Sometimes your right frame of mind is not there. You're trying to find your steam and stuff, and maybe the baby is just crying and
mm-hmm.
incessantly. So sometimes it's really challenging too. But
Yes.
most of it's enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
Like it's
It
time
is,
makes
man.
It's You said it's challenging and yet enjoyable.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Because
Are you
sometimes
people for real? Not
challenging
everybody will understand these things. Not everybody will believe us.
because you don't if the child start crying, men we usually don't have that instinct to directly pick out what's wrong and maybe calm him down or
Mm-hmm,
something. So, and at the same time, you're trying to finish something online or you're trying to do something, and these two things are going on at the same time. You
Yeah.
find yourself sometimes concentrating on maybe on the baby too much and leaving what you have to do, and yeah, it's sometimes it's challenging, but it's
mm.
enjoyable. It's a good experience. I
Wow,
really encourage every
it's
young person
fascinating.
really.
Where is Paul Otto? Otto, I hope say you dey hear. I hope say you dey hear. See your people, your mates don't marry, get children. Na African man you be. I hope say you dey hear. Paul Otto. He's one that brought me to Brian now, so I can talk about him now. Nothing dey happen.
Okay, okay.
Yes, so Brian.
Yeah. You know the funny thing? This man, there are
Mm-hmm.
times that I might hold him and I'm watching the movie, see he will shake and I laugh and he will jump. It's always very
Yeah.
funny, man. Like it's always fun. And also, I mean, duty. Now, the definition of duty is like the thing that you do for its own sake. You see, you can't
Exactly.
reduce it. You can't reduce it to any other thing. You see, like you know how you can do things because of another thing. Like you could eat because you're hungry. Like at the end of the day, if you have kids and you take care of them, is you see that is duty. It's like going to war for your
Mm-hmm.
country. You see what I mean? So it's something that teaches you a lot. That's why I was telling you that yesterday. Sometimes when I think of the people that we call superheroes, right? Like maybe if you think of like Achilles from ancient Greece and all these soldiers that went to war, what's stopping them from dry cleaning their whole house, taking care of all the kids? Like I used to joke with one of my friends that I would like to be as fast as a flash, so that like you clean the whole house. Even the baby is sleeping with the mother, you give the baby a shower, change the baby, and nobody knows they're still sleeping. You see what I mean? So I find joy in things like that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. Cool. Maybe a
Me
few
too.
steps ahead of me. Maybe that. So.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
So I think we should. I mean, we're chatting already, and I can feel your sense of duty too.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nowadays, uh, I for one, I feel like I wasn't told what life is. Like as we there's a comment, but I'll answer actually just a second. So as we're growing up, no one tells you exactly what life is. Even those that try to tell you, the moment they try to tell you, maybe that's when we choose to be stubborn or to be proud, to feel like, oh, don't tell me that you're boring me, stuff like that, and then we start
Yeah.
realizing it. Yeah. So for you, what is life to you? And I mean, from this age, you've probably been looking at you move, you set goals, you achieve them, and then life is becoming something. So what is that for you?
Okay, that's a question for me.
Yeah, anyone.
Wow.
All of us.
Uh, that's really a tough one because for me, life is being in the present moment at every given point in time, wherever you find yourself, being in the present moment. Uh, I say being the present moment because I'm I'm a Stoic. I don't
Mashallah.
know if you guys know what Stoics are. Stoic philosopher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow
Please, I don't know.
Marcus Aurelius a lot.
Mashallah.
Stoicism, exactly. So it helps you. You know, we're in Africa. Oh, okay. And being African already, it puts you on on the on the other side of the globe where everything is average. So
Yeah.
it means that you have like a 50 to 60% chance in making it in Africa. So you need to find different mechanisms, different way to always boost we're your in brain, Africa,
Mm.
boost your morale, inspire yourself, motivate yourself, and push yourself. Because at the end of the day, nobody, I mean, absolutely nobody is coming to save you. You only got yourself. Especially for some of us that come from modest backgrounds, you only got yourself. You don't have anybody around, and you just have to do something.
Let me put this
So
man to sleep.
my mechanism of always keeping my brain in check, of always being keeping my head above the waters. You know, it's stoicism. That philosophy I've been practicing for I think 9 years today, and it's been it's been quite an amazing journey because it helps me go through every single challenge that I encounter, and you make challenges become stepping stones rather than you seeing them as a blockage, rather than you seeing them as somebody somewhere in the village doing something, rather than you running to a church, rather than you. I mean, it keeps you in check. It puts your brain, it keeps your mental sanity together, so you don't get to maybe explode, expatriate, or something like that. So for me, basically, life is that present moment. What do I want, like, from this video? What am I trying to share? What am I trying to do? What is that thing that keeps me here? Like that exchange. How is it going to change tomorrow? How is it going to impact? Like,
Mm.
I think that's it. That present moment at I could be in front of, they could be pointing a gun on my head right now. I could be talking to somebody. I could be talking to my wife. I could be having fun with my kid. You know, life is about every of these moments and you actually being present in it. Yeah.
So
So that's
you
that's it.
actually making the best of, I mean, making the best of everything that life throws at you. I
Exactly.
mean, I mean, then this would be like a show, a solution, a solution providing show for I mean for the level that we are now, particularly in Africa, particularly Nigeria, where I am. You know, where it's been very economically and politically, the environments are very challenging. You know, so I would really like you to please, I mean, take your time again to talk about this stockism that you're talking about. You know,
Stoicism.
stop. Spell
Stoicism.
it
Let me spell it for you, man. Okay.
slowly so that people watching can follow, please.
It's SICISM.
SICI.
Yeah,
S
STOIC.
S T
Okay.
O I C I S M.
Yeah. Okay. I think I've come across this word. So where can brothers, you know, African brothers find this? I mean, is it a philosophy? Is it
Okay, there's this guy.
what? How where they find it, and how can it work for them? What is its importance?
There's this guy. He's one of the biggest promoters. His name is Brian Holiday. He's an American. You spell that Holiday very well.
Mashallah.
Good.
Okay. So a lot of people should follow. A lot of people under the sound of my voice should follow Brian Holiday, and you understand better how to go through challenges, because for Stoics, challenges are just to make you even more better. Yeah, so Stoics say there are three types of people that exist, and there are people that are fragile, that the moment they encounter any challenge, they easily tend to dissolve, and
Hmm.
the challenges consume them. Then now there
Hmm.
are people that are resilient. The moment they encounter any challenge, they block the challenge and they try to, to push themselves forward. Now, the third group of people that are like Stoics, they call themselves anti-fragile. Now, anti-fragile means that the moment you get in front of a challenge, that's where the inspiration, that's where the
And so,
motivation to push forward begins. It's like maybe somebody cuts off your hand and your hand comes out too. You know, the moment the cut comes out, the more they cut, the more you get better. The more
the
the
more you
challenge.
become more efficient.
So that's the philosophy of being stoic. That's what helps to really fuel that journey, because it's, to tell you the truth, the reality is that being African is hard. It's really hard. But for us to be able to measure with our friends around the globe using the internet, I think we need to be we need to be more than what they are,
Hmm.
because maybe around there are some resources, there's a lot of peace, there's a lot of things going on that could help you get faster at your goal. But in Africa, your environment that you grew up, your mom, your dad, your brothers, and the people around don't always all the time understand where you're going to, especially if you decide to take the road of entrepreneurship. I mean, it's some
National.
sort of foreign language you're speaking. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, so it becomes very difficult. So the best way for you to be able to go through that journey without feeling that you're doing something, you're stressing yourself out and stuff like that, you just have to become a stoic.
Stoic.
Yeah, just have to become a stoic. Like, this is my personal experience. Somebody can
I
like
like it. I
to
like it. I totally cue into it. And for me, Brian, and for me, I think that whatsoever level of, I mean, personality or level of how individuals are raised or have come to react to their environments and their challenges, as far as you are in Africa, particularly if you are with me in Nigeria, we are supposed to be very stoic about our situations.
exactly,
I think I would advise people to not to shy away from challenges, but to confront our challenges, because the challenges are coming every day, even if you hide. I mean, as I'm
exactly,
talking now they can take this light. This light can just go off.
exactly. Would
You
you
know,
get angry? Would you get
you know,
angry and shout? And what would change? Nothing's going to change. The light is gone. It's gone. What next? So you have to think of something else. Yeah, in
National.
Africa, anything can happen at any time.
National.
yeah. And if we bend to these things, we'll just basically be giving excuses to failures. And if you're a failure, you're a failure. That is what it is. And we really we do not want to see that. So, I
Exactly.
mean, if you are watching this show, I mean, I like to share what I believe in. If you are watching this show, I mean, you should really take a listen. If you're a book reader, I mean, Nzoda has shared the name of the author. You can go check it out and maybe begin to practice it and see, because we need it in Africa, because the challenges are too much, Brian. The
Yeah,
challenges are too much,
I know, man. Yeah,
too
I'm
much.
African, man.
Way too much
Yeah,
that one.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
like
as I'm talking to you now, Brian,
yeah.
the president of Chad just died.
That's what I
They
heard.
said he was killed in the war front, and his son has now become a president. Has now taken over. So,
National.
so tell me, what? I mean, what is the hope that things are going to change there? So, if individuals in those countries do not wake up to the reality of solving the problems that the existence, the reality of Chad throws to them every day, waiting will be the story now. No be suffer, suffer, we go dey hear again.
yesterday I saw some footages of 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 shootings. The country is under some sort of turmoil. There's no peace, too much tension, and what becomes the future of those young people? You know, he has a way of getting into our bones and making us feel average, mediocre, good for nothing, and I can keep naming. It
Yeah.
just gets you to where you just feel like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe being African is really just
But
backlog.
isn't that better in the sense that sorry, let me cut back a little.
Yeah,
The
just a
I
minute.
came across the idea that the Serenity Prayer came from the Stoic school, and the Stoics actually developed logic and predicate logic that we have. Yeah. So Isaac, the Stoics did there's this logic that you can use it as a language, like if for all, let's say for all persons that are living in Isaac's Cartier, there is somebody that is light in skin color. So you could do that in mathematics with the opposite A for every, let's say, X belonging to the set, let's say, Cartier Q, comma, there exists opposite E some Y such that Y is light skin color. So the Stoics actually added that to mathematics, and then there's this prayer that the Catholics always say, that the Lord God help me to accept the things I can change or endure, and then help
Exactly.
me change the things I can change and endure the things I can't change. Like
Exactly.
if it's raining, you can't stop the
That's
rain.
Mm-hmm.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't
So
stop the rain,
okay,
but you can
let me
change the
change
fact
the
that you
things.
will go to
Let
class.
me change the things that I can change and
Yes,
endure those that I can't change.
yes. So if
Exactly.
it's
You
raining,
accept
yeah,
you accept the reality of the things you cannot control.
mashallah.
Rather than worrying about it, you just accept it, then focus on what you can change and keep going forward.
Exactly. Like, let's say it's raining, you have to go to class or you have to go sell or you have to go hustle. It's cold in the morning, 4 a.m. You have to go and hustle. You see what I mean? You cannot change that cold. You cannot
Hmm.
stop the rain, man. But
Hmm.
you can carry your two mother F, let me not say mother freaking legs, and then you go and do the thing. You see what I mean? So the Stoics are like that, and like Kenneth mentioned, the Marcus Aurelius, man, tell us about him. Please tell us about Marcus Aurelius as much as you can.
Mark Aurelius, like he's the creator. I would say he started this stoicism of the thing, and he's like he's of the school of thought that he's of the school of thought that endurance, endurance, accepting who you are, especially your external environment, exactly the way it is. Like you stop, you narrow down your expectation. You can put up your expectation from the inside. But when you get outside, you narrow down your expectation so you don't get too surprised by life events, like everyday events. So whatever happens, whatever comes your way, you are ready. You're not just ready to accept it, but you're ready also.
Mhm.
Exactly.
This is
So
it, the
you're very
meditations.
ready
All right.
to accept it and move forward, because there are people who accept a reality and that reality makes them stagnant. So you tend to find
Hmm.
yourself in one place. So you have to accept that you can't put to terms with yourself to move forward. So it's like a covenant that you take yourself and your outer self. Your outer self is it's you and everything that you communicate out of yourself with your outer environment. So there's this covenant that you try to make every single day. So okay, Marcus Aurelius, when he wakes up in the morning, he has a routine. Okay, he says, okay, how can I be better today? For example, how can I be better today? Then he already knows that for every single person that he's going to meet, the person can hurt him. So he
Mashallah.
prepares a mechanism to block that already. So once you think
Hmm.
about the end before you start, when you reach the end, no matter how bad the end is, you always find a way to survive it. People get depressed because they don't visualize the worst that can happen. I always, in every given situation, I always visualize the worst that can happen. Then I start
Mashallah.
acting as if the worst is already existing. So if it's fine, it's fine. But if it's what should I do? I don't want to find myself in a situation where you keep complaining, you regret and stuff like that. Life is too short, man. Life is really, really too short to stay back and have regret.
Mashallah.
So exactly, that's it.
Mashallah. Yeah.
That's
If you want,
the
I could
philosophy.
read. If you want, I could read some from here. Isaac, this is his book, Marcus Aurelius. He was actually the emperor of Rome. He was an emperor of Rome.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So Isaac, these are the thoughts of the
Good.
emperor. You know, like Rome was the greatest civilization at their time. So and he ruled it. So let me see, which one will I choose from? You have anyone, or I should just go?
Just go. Anyone.
Okay. So let me take 3.9. So it says revere your capacity for making decisions. Everything depends on this alone, so that your guiding path does not make a decision that is contrary either to nature or to your makeup as being endowed with reason. This demands
Exactly.
freedom from rash judgments, fellowship with others, and obedience toward the gods. So that's that.
Mm.
Yeah, and one thing I learned from Marcus Aurelius, yeah, even the writing, he used to like keep a journal where he would write
Exactly.
philosophical
John.
essays. I learned a lot when I was practicing that. It
Mm,
taught me how to write actually, like to keep a
mm,
journal. Sometimes I would just start writing that. Okay, now I'm trying to write, and I feel as if I don't even know what I'm going to write. But since I'm
Mm.
writing, something will show up. I'm writing that. You
Yeah.
see what I mean? And
Mm.
at the end of the day, over
You're
time,
documenting your
I
thoughts.
yes, I kind of
good
switched to
right.
something that makes sense. You see, so
Yeah.
yeah, man. Thanks for
Yeah.
bringing that up. It's really the Stoics, man. The Stoics, they did a lot, and they like, especially like in Cameroon, where problems are chances for opportunity. You see,
Yeah.
like if you see a problem, it means that the solution has not been found. So
Mm,
so that's something to work on. You see, so we are blessed in Africa. Like we have so many problems. You see what I mean? So many problems means there's a lot to do. You see, so
exactly.
if we adopt, and this mindset is, you know, the Romans went to Egypt. So we in Africa, we actually had this mindset before. So I'm just wondering what is happening like today.
I think maybe taking it a step further is Africa we practice a lot of blame game. It's always the
Okay.
other person who's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Always the other person that's wrong. I think it starts from that environment where your parents don't are not accountable enough to accept that they do wrong stuff, and then it goes to the children. Then the society is affected, and we grow with it. We give birth to children that are like that.
Yeah.
Even if even no matter how much we try to change that, it's sometimes it's kind of like it's part of our DNA to always look at things from a negative perspective. It's really disheartening in Africa. Like for some of us that are trying to look at the other direction, it's really sickening. Yeah. So
Mashallah.
maybe like you just said, uh, you said in Africa we have a lot of problems, which means that being African is a blessing because you're born in a place where there are problems that can be solved.
Yeah.
But no, that's not the perspective from which we look at things here. The problems are like curses. It's like
Yeah.
the problems were being put there by our ancestors that were angry about something that some white folks did to them, and without no cause or effect relating directly to you, you're affected by that. And most
Mashallah.
often, like the Stoics say, you when something happens to you, it depends on how much attention you give to that thing. That's how that thing is going to affect you.
Yeah.
So it's not about what happens to you, it's about how much attention you pay to the thing that's happening to you. That makes the problem a real problem, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's really like a mindset thing, and I'm really privileged to be in this platform and talking and
Mashallah.
expressing
Yeah,
Same
feelings.
here.
man.
Same here.
Yeah, and I think and I think we were also blessed. in Topo Spaces and also our followers to have you talk about this thing, because it's good to know that Africa is blessed, that despite what we are going through, and it also is good for people to know and understand that amidst our problems lies the solution, and also lies the greatness. What else? What else can you share with your neighbor or your brother? Apart from this kind of philosophy, this kind of thinking. So we're happy that you're talking about it. We're happy that you are sharing it. We have to. I myself am learning a lot. That's why I've just been paying attention and putting myself in the shoes. We need to individualize. We need to pay more attention to issues. We need to accept things, take responsibilities of things rather than depending on people like the government to always solve our problem. We should look about how we can solve this problem, not depending so much on the government, who have always and over the time always disappointed us. So and it goes again to say that, so it means that when we complain so much of our government, we are not really doing so much. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Complaining makes your creativity to, it lowers down that aspect of creativity in you, and it makes the necessity to act to disappear. Then you become now somebody who always looks at things from another person's shoes. Like you don't look at things from you. You know, if everybody could take responsibility for their actions, I think Africa will be a better place. It's not rocket science. It's not magic. It's not something that is not being done elsewhere. But it's just some kind of, I don't know how to really pinpoint it, but there is something wrong, particularly about Africans, that is not owning up to something that is happening to you. Like it's always um, um, I'm not bored enough because my parents didn't expose me enough. I'm not rich today because I'm coming from a poor background. I'm not this because this person did this to me. Like the list is so long. So in all of these things, where are you? This is you. This is you talking about yourself. But why is everything about you is about other people? You know. You see where that problem comes from.
Yeah, right.
There's there's this book I read, the 80-20 rule. Uh,
Mashallah.
20% of the people of the world, 20% of the people of the world own 80% of the world.
Mashallah.
So 20% output produces 80% input.
Mashallah.
So it's not the moment you understand that you're taking responsibilities for your action and you're actually doing something to grow, to outgrow yourself, to unlearn old habits and learn new habits, you begin to to get closer to this 20% of people who own 80% of the world. You know, if you look for, you take an example like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Mark Zuckerberg, and maybe some crypto billionaires that are topping the charts right now. All of
Mashallah.
them have this sense of responsibility, this sense of creating something, this sense of looking at problems and providing solutions. Like they own up to something and they say, okay, this is my mission. I'm going to make sure that the world is affected positively by this thing. And if that gives me money, fine. Their goal always is not to become a billionaire. Their goal is to solve a problem. If by me helping solve a problem in Africa, I become a billionaire, then that's a really good thing. Yeah,
Mashallah.
everybody would like to have a lot of money, but the fundamental of that is you solving a problem. What problem are you solving? How impactful is this problem? How much is this problem is going to make for you in terms of money, and how many people this problem is going to employ for people to keep solving and stuff like that. So I think it goes way just beyond us being individuals looking at things from our perspective, because the way you think, the way you act today, whether we like it or not, our children are going to be affected by that. they will never shadow away from it. So it is better for us to really open our minds, exploit. So when they come, like it's like you give them the touch, the relay touch, like you just continue the journey. But you don't let a child come and really start everything afresh and start creating generational wealth and stuff like that. No, it's really, really hard. It's really hard. Like, yeah.
Mashallah. Thanks
Mm.
for really putting it out like that. You know, if we look at like the world, and I would also like to learn about that in your journey. Uh,
Mm.
Many of the I like Donald Kenneth is the one. He's a pioneer in computer science. He came from Stanford, and he actually solved. Let me just explain it a little bit. So normally, uh, before people write computer programs, and then they will say that it works, and then when they ask them that, how far are you sure that it's gonna work for all input, and they will say that I think so. So
Mm.
he said they needed to give a mathematical statement. And you know,
Yep.
mathematics is an exact science. So he wants to be able to say that if I give you 10 things, you spend 1,000 units of computations in order to do that. So that was the
Mm.
problem he solved, and he created a whole field in computer science called the analysis of algorithms. And computer
Wow.
science students spend a lot of time learning that. The way he does mathematics, it's like he's playing, ping pong. He's playing ping pong with math. So
Exactly.
now, if I was following his biography, when he was growing up, he used to be afraid to fail.
Mm.
So he was afraid that he will fail, so he will read and then do more exercises. So if the teacher said do exercise 1 and 2 out of the 20 questions, he would do all 20. And
Wow.
so the first time he couldn't do one, and he was afraid that they would laugh at him in class. So he did it, he solved it. So he said he kept doing it. He kept doing it. Before he knew, he would do all the 20, and then he would even be bored. And he would take the next ones. And that's how he came and knew so much mathematics that he created his own field. You see what I mean? So when you say when you explain these things, my mind is cast to that, and
Mm.
it's just little steps. Those small steps that you take. You do one extra question, or
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has experienced this. Like growing up, maybe you think that you can't read, and then you challenge yourself that okay, let me read this one sentence without skipping any letter, and you read
Yeah.
it. Before you know, you read one page. Before you know, you read one novel. That's how I read my first novel. You
Mm.
see what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
have any of these experiences to
Yeah,
share.
I had that experience too. I think I used to challenge myself a lot
Mm-hmm.
when I was younger, though I was really very shy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I used to challenge myself a lot. But one thing about my environment, which I grew up with, my environment didn't have a culture of competition, like
Mm-hmm.
of building champions for the future. So we were just okay, we just average. eh, Everything was just life was just okay.
Yeah.
I just wish that sometimes it could have been more of like you your parents putting you in a space where you get competitive with yourself, like you put challenges and you get better than these challenges like every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So but it was when I got a little bit mature that I started putting these things for myself, when I started reading books and exploiting how other people, especially from the other side of the globe, out of Africa,
Yeah.
why do they think the way they think, and why do they do the things why do they do things the way they do them? Because they have like it's over there. Since everybody wants to go over there, it means there's something there
Yeah.
that we are not doing yet. So what are they doing? What's their modus operandi? What's their thought process? What's their mindset like?
Yeah.
So it got me to a lot of thoughts, and I started reading it. Yeah.
Mashallah. And you know that Isaac, you know that before Africa was like that, and then people left other parts of the world to come and learn.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I think of that, it's
Mm-hmm.
funny. You know what I mean? It's like the tables turned. You see, and although now as we're like exploring the seas of music and the other arts, Africa is beginning go back to that. But these are generations that we don't understand what it means to solve a problem. Our attention spans are very low. Problems that you need to think only of a problem, you need 3 months first to think, like before you understand it. You see what I mean? Like oh yeah, maybe we should talk about that. Maybe see, like Bitcoin, for example, to start understanding it's a whole rabbit hole that, or rabbit hole, rat mouse hole. As you're going there, you meet a anaconda's hole inside, so it's easy to just get lost. But it
Yeah.
looks like if people keep pushing, one day some light bulb will come on in the head. So if we have these experiences, please let's share. See,
Yeah.
Isaac is a journalist. I'm not sure you just woke up one day and became a journalist. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
Yeah, well, I mean, talking about the Bitcoin, right? I
yeah.
mean, I really like. I am somebody too that has been very shy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so, and I know that there are a lot of fellows around, especially Africa, where I come from, and people, and every day, I mean, I speak with Brian. He tells me how delicious, how very delicious it is to put to invest in it. You know, so it would be good for us to, I mean, to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, let's share the wealth with the brothers, man.
Okay.
Mashallah.
First thing, first things first. Everybody should invest in cryptocurrency.
Mashallah.
Everybody
Yes. It's here to stay. It's going nowhere.
Mashallah.
is here to stay. Is going nowhere. I
Yeah.
mean, when you say invest, it's only when you have money that you invest. Now, some of us that can barely eat, where are we going to find money to invest? Yeah, man.
no,
And where do we invest? Is it a bank? Let me say this thing. Another thing about cryptocurrency is that, I mean, I think in Africa it has not been probably properly understood. People are just used to, I mean, the traditional financial system. You walk into a building and somebody's attending to you. It tells you insurance. It tells you a stockbroken is a stockbroken firm. You buy stocks and all of that. How many people are talking about Bitcoin? How many people are giving information about Bitcoin? People don't even know where to find this information.
Mashallah.
yeah.
And when they are spoken about, you people talk about it in very fancy, high-tech languages that people cannot really break down. So I'll be happy if we can break it down today and speak that. Isaac can proudly talk about it proudly with his kids.
Mm, yeah. I think cryptocurrency is deliberately complicated. Why is it deliberately complicated? In the 90s, yeah, the dot com boom where the internet rose, and we had the rise of Amazon, Alibaba, PayPal, eBay, and stuff like that. Those are billion-dollar companies today. Like back then, 90s and stuff like that, you do not understand what the internet is about. It's the same thing like crypto. You know, it's the way it is because it's a wave. I don't know how to explain. Maybe I'm also using some. It's a wave that it takes like 10 to 15 years for the average man to really understand it.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
we'll try to
why
break it
is it
down
like
today.
that? It took the internet existed, let's say, from the 90s where people started buying stuff online and stuff like that. When did we start buying stuff online in Africa? I'm just using Africa as a case study. Yeah,
2016.
the same thing that's happening to crypto is the same thing. A lot of people get into crypto when the bandwagon is already on the road moving. Nobody, nobody, very few people want to start moving that train. People only want when the train has started moving before they join and start going. And and like some crypto investors and some other internet investors like Bezos, like Gates, and all of that, what they usually say is don't wait. for the train to start going before you join. Be bold enough to make research, to learn, to study, so you can also start a train that people can join. That's how you make
Hmm.
money. That's how you make
All
money.
right.
Yeah. So, you know, I'll just share this. It's really some vital information from some research that I've been making lately. Uh, Bitcoin was the gateway to cryptocurrency, investment, trading, and stuff like that. But now there's a rise of other altcoins, like altcoins, other alternative coins, like Ethereum, like Ripple, and a host of others. Now,
I like to understand this. So there's
yeah,
a difference between Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
no, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency that works. It's a peer to peer network. Like
Mm-hmm.
people, it's a decentralized system of payment transactions that doesn't need a bank or an intermediary. That's the idea of Bitcoin. That's why it has so much power. Because before, for you to make a transaction, a payment, there's always somebody who's going to be in the middle. So Bitcoin eliminated that through and just connecting computers around the world. That's it.
All
Now,
right. All right. Please, Nzoda, just bear with me.
hmm,
Now, let's start from step one. They call it gwari gwari. Now, if I have 20,000 naira now,
hmm,
20,000 naira now, or 5,000 naira now,
hmm.
how do I become a Bitcoin investor? What do I do?
Okay. They are enablers. They are platforms that permit you to trade. You understand? So some of these platforms are Coinbase. Like there are some recommended. I need to check, but I mostly use Coinbase. So you go there. There are instructions. You just go to the website. There are instructions. You sign in. You log in. Now you have to create a digital wallet.
Mm-hmm.
With he has some long series of numbers. That is your Bitcoin wallet address. That if somebody needs to send you money through Bitcoin, that if somebody needs to send you bitcoins, that's the address to send to the person. So when you send, the person sends the bitcoin through that address, and you receive it on like a notification or something like that. When you open your dashboard, you see how the figures have changed. So
Yeah, so how do I load my 10,000 naira, my 5,000 naira onto that wallet, onto that investment stream?
okay, now before it was really difficult, but right now it's just for you because I think where you are in Nigeria, there are a lot of people that are doing Bitcoin transactions already, right? So if you're interested in investing, let's say you have 5,000 naira, you go meet someone who is doing trading in Bitcoin and that want to sell their Bitcoin. Now you ask them that you want the equivalent of the Bitcoin equivalent to 5,000 naira. Like that's just an example. So they will give you now, after you must have created your wallet, they put the Bitcoin in your wallet. That's where the trading starts.
Okay,
So
okay. So for instance, now I come to you. You are already an investor.
yeah.
I come to you. I say I have 5,000 naira. I want to get into Bitcoin. I want to invest into Bitcoin. I give you the 5,000 naira cash. You
Mhm.
send an equivalent of that 5,000 naira cash as coins, e-coins, into that my wallet.
Exactly. That's how it goes.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, Brian could add something, maybe if I'm missing
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah.
He should. Yeah,
Where
he's a
will I even
practitioner.
start?
Yeah. I mean, I've always felt guilty that we've not used. Brian has been I mean, an advocate of this, and I've always felt guilty that we have not used Topo Spaces to advance, what he really wants to do with bitcoins. You know.
Yeah.
So Brian, now, so if after you have those e-coins monies have been deposited in my wallet, how do they appreciate? How do I trade with them? How do they grow in value?
Well, growing in value now, that's just typical demand and supply. So the more like people, well, there are many angles to it. The more like people don't sell, it will become scarce, right? So the price will go up because many people want to buy, and so there is typical economics. And then the other angle is that money, for you to really understand Bitcoin, you need to go back to the definition of money. It's like a means of exchange. It's a unit of accountability, right? It's also like a store of value, and it should be easy to transport, and it should not lose its value. So now, with the current systems that we have, see, like in the United States, the government is giving stimulus checks, printing money. That's inflation right there. So there will be too much money around, US dollars or naira or whatever, that would the money will lose its value. So as our grandparents are growing, they will say, "Oh, I used to rent my house 100 francs back in the day, or 1 naira," and then you'll be laughing. But what they're saying is that even if they kept that 1 naira today, they will not be able to buy anything. You see what I mean? So now Bitcoin as a store of value is deflationary. So there's nobody that can go and print it, because it's not one person that has the button to that printing machine, just like how our governments have been doing. So it's also about deregulating currency. Mostly the governments that used to take care of currency, they print it, they promise you, and then when things are rough, they go and print more, right? They release more money. So Bitcoin is not one person that takes care of it, and then it's the amount of Bitcoin is standard. That's 21 million Bitcoin, and then it releases it in a way that is deflationary. So the number of Bitcoin released to the market is going down. So it's becoming scarcer and scarcer and scarcer, and that's the real thing. That's how money is supposed to be, and that's why gold was used as money, because gold is
I'm
really
confused,
scarce.
Brian.
Yeah.
I'm confused in the fact that okay, I mean we're trying to. You have been an advocate to say that people, especially in Africa,
Yeah.
you know, should begin to look at Bitcoin, as an alternative.
Yeah.
So if what we're doing now, a lot of people can watch us now and say, okay, they want to invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So are you saying that the more they invest in the Bitcoin, the more it becomes scarce? So that means that we shouldn't even allow people to invest now, so that we make it scarce.
No. So, well, I was trying to give you like the background reason why why the price is appreciated. It's the same like land, right? Land is appreciated because as time goes on, it's not like land adds. As time goes on, like land becomes scarce. You see what I mean? So the price goes up. You see, so the same with Bitcoin. As time goes on, the number of Bitcoin that is released by the Bitcoin system has been programmed to half every 4 years, just like the World Cup. You see what I mean? Every 4 years, like the total amount that is released reduces, and that goes down. The curve goes down as opposed to our own regular money that is going up. You see, so because of that, it becomes scarcer. Just like how now you're here wondering, and remember that time is money. So the time that we're spending now to talk about this is money. So we're spent money on Bitcoin now as we're talking. So it means the value has gone up.
Yes,
You
exactly.
see, so even you, as you're finding Bitcoin, is enriching you in terms of value.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's enriching you in terms of value, and you value it more the more you know about it. So if you go somewhere and they tell you with 10,000 naira you can get one small pinch of Bitcoin, you will not argue. You see what I mean? So you see how the value is going up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
yeah.
the more people are aware, the more people are investing into it, the
Yeah.
more it appreciates it.
Yes.
More value it gets there.
Because and that's why I was saying one of the simplest ways to look at it is just go back to the definition of money, read the definition, unit of account, store of value, medium of exchange, things like that, and then think now of Bitcoin as a computer application that solves that. And the last time we checked, computers are almost perfect. So it's the same like how the printing press, right? John Gutenberg and the rest, they started printing. People, they would use hot iron to cast letters on paper, right? And then Bill Gates, they created Microsoft Office. Now they can print books anyhow, write letters, and do things like that. So Microsoft Office is an application, a software application, or a suite of applications that solves the editing problem, right? So Bitcoin is a suite of applications that solves the currency problem. So it means it could solve it as good as Microsoft Office solves the editing problem. So now you can go read your textbook and then come now and know that Bitcoin will do what it said, as opposed to you reading the textbook and then the Naira is going in the opposite direction.
Interesting, man. You guys should just keep talking, man.
Mashallah. So I mean, Kenneth.
My
Uh,
honors, mama. Hello, mama. Just a
yeah,
minute to have to pick a cover. Hello,
yeah.
mama, Sanua.
Let me mute you, Isaac. Okay, mute himself. Yeah. So I mean, Kenneth. I mean, so in your field, what really brought you to Bitcoin?
Digital marketing. I would say more like digital entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Anything that's digital that fascinates me.
Yeah.
AI, cryptocurrency,
Mm-hmm.
digital marketing, digital tools, computers, and stuff like that. So
Mashallah.
I'm looking forward to exploit every sphere of bits and ones, like ones and zeros. Anything
Yeah.
that uses ones and zeros to communicate, Yeah.
Okay, mashallah. And then
Mm.
another point about like this Bitcoin and is that uh, if it's also like a network, right? If we look at things like Apple, Google, what they've done is they have dematerialized certain things. Like books now, you can just have it in your iPhone.
Yeah.
Before you need to buy a camera in order for you to take a picture, then you go and buy a recorder in order for you to record, and then you go and buy some kind of a Walkman in order for you to listen to music, and then you go and buy like a typewriter in order for you to type. So but the iPhone packages all of those and gives you as a small bundle. So they have dematerialized thousands of millions of books. They have dematerialized cameras. They have dematerialized typewriters. So you have, so they've compressed it into that small device. You see, so Facebook is doing the same with connections. Now I don't need Zoom and the rest. I don't need to come to about $1 million worth of gold from or let's say $10 million or any amount of gold from, let's say, Abuja to America. You will probably spend like $500,000 or
Of course.
250,000. You need to look for bodyguards. You need to look for the kinds
Mm.
of vehicles to carry it. You need to, like you need to make sure that they
Pay
don't steal it.
taxes. The taxes will cut to your
Yeah.
purse.
Okay. So now,
Exactly.
but on Bitcoin, you can send $1 million for $5 or $10 or $15. First, you don't pay for the amount of money. You pay for the
So,
size in
so just
bytes.
stop there, Brian. How would you do that? How would you do that?
Okay.
You are,
So,
you are in Buya.
mhm,
How would somebody send $1 million to you
mhm.
from Buya to America
So just like how I'll
via
send you a
crypto,
text,
via Bitcoin?
yeah, just like how I'll send you a text message, all I need is your number. And I send, hi Isaac, let's meet in the Echombo house. I will be in Nigeria in 3 months. When I send it, bam, it goes and enters your phone, right? So with Bitcoin, it's also a network, just like your phone network or just like Facebook, but it deals with money, right? So I have, instead of having a number, I would have your Bitcoin address. And then instead of
Exactly.
me to have a Facebook password to log in, I would have a special number called a private key, which is like a PIN. So that's what will authorize me to send that transaction. So when I send it, it goes to the network. But permit me to be a bit technical, it doesn't go to a particular person or a branch, it goes to everybody on the network. So they check it and make sure that I have the money and that I have not sent it to any other person. And then when they see that I have the money, then they update the record. So everybody checks it, everybody verifies it. So it comes now to you. And once after like 10 minutes, when everybody has updated their records and the rest, you get the money. Does that make sense?
I get the money as in I get the money as in a code.
As if you got the text message. So you get
Yes.
your account balance now. If I send you $1 million, which is a couple of Bitcoin, right? It's be like hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin now, right? So if I send that, you'll be updated. Your wallet will
In
show
my
up.
wallet.
Yes. So and then I don't know if you want me to take a step back.
No, I don't think so. I just want you to understand. So when you send that that e-money, let me call it electronic money,
Yeah.
you understand, into my wallet,
Yeah.
how does it become naira in my hands?
Okay, that one now is different. That's an exchange. So one thing again, if you go back to the definition of money, one thing that sorry, Kenneth, hope I'm not stealing your thunder.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So one thing that one of the definitions of money is optionality, right? That's why you will not use tomatoes as money, because remember back in the day, trade by barter. So you will
Yeah,
not use tomatoes as money because tomatoes will get rotten and stuff like that. So they went to gold because gold is durable.
Hmm.
You see, and because if I have tomatoes, I have to look for somebody that wants to cook tomato sauce, and then so you see that my options are very low. But if I have something that is scarce that has more value, more people will want to exchange what they have for it. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
cements gold as
Mm-hmm.
money, because it gives you
Mm-hmm.
optionality. If you go around, people want to see gold, they want to get it. So if Bitcoin is digital gold, it means, like I said, go back to the textbook, look at all the definitions of money, and then apply that to Bitcoin. It will fit. In the same way that if you go look at how to write books, apply it to Microsoft Word, it will fit. You see what I mean? So because now it's valuable, it gives you optionality. So you can go to China, you can go to Boya, you can go anywhere. You must see somebody who wants Bitcoin. So it gives you so many options.
and just to add, that's the value Bitcoin gives you, that decentralization, that nobody controls how you exchange your money with whoever you want.
Exactly.
So it makes it
So
really flexible.
yes,
Yeah.
so Unzana, let me ask you now. So if you transfer that money now from your from where you are to me in Nigeria now into my wallet, how do I turn it into naira?
Like Brian was explaining, you always meet someone who wants Bitcoin in exchange for.
You always meet people.
Always, there's always somebody who wants to buy. There's always somebody who wants to sell. So you guys just need to sit down, you make the calculations in terms of the equivalent of Bitcoins in Naira, and you guys do the exchange, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so therefore cutting off the middleman, cutting off central bank, cutting off all these guys.
We don't talk about any bank, any credit union, any third parties. Just you, me, exchanging my wallet key with you, you sending me the money, me meeting someone else that needs my Bitcoin and gives me Naira or gives me CFA or something like that. It's always
Wow.
you, the proprietor of the Bitcoin, and the person who wants to do the exchange. There's no third party.
So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, so as I'm sitting here, there are people around me that are trading in this Bitcoin, that if I have money, they are interested to take my I mean, they are interested to exchange my naira to their Bitcoins
Yep.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yep.
just try, maybe after the video, just try, look on your WhatsApp. You just put in your WhatsApp status that you want to buy Bitcoin. You see how many people contact you that they
I
have
will
Bitcoin,
try that.
Try it even on Facebook. Anyway,
I
just
will
try
try
it.
that.
You'll see.
that you want to buy some coins.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
In fact, give me a minute. I'm trying it already.
And
exactly.
in my experience, right, Kenneth.
Yeah.
And again, I really appreciate you coming here. You're the first person, and maybe we'll keep talking about this,
Okay.
because in my
Yeah.
experience too, Bitcoin gives value in so many domains, because and I think that's what will bring the change in Africa, because
Hmm.
when you start seeing the value, you start seeing what risk scarcity means, you start
Mhm.
understanding what it means to guide your value with your life, then you stop joking with people. You see what I mean? Even the government who is there trying to steal your heritage and things like that. So it's something that, as we understand it, it transforms the way we think.
Yeah. So Nzoda. So I'm writing now. I want to buy Bitcoin. Is that just okay? Is that just enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Brian, I mean, as you just write, I want to buy Bitcoin and just see, right?
Yeah. I mean, in the same way, like if you want to buy a dodo.
Yeah. All right. Good. So let's
Who's
go.
selling
I will
dodo?
do that on Facebook too.
So I see
I
a
mean, because
question. I see a question. They say with the so many wallets now, which would you say is most cost effective? Yeah, you want to take that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, there are open source wallets. There are wallets that are free, that people could download. Like I think Zap. Zap is
Mm,
free.
mm.
There is a Blue Wallet and a couple of other wallets. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I've been using a blockchain. I think four
okay,
years
block,
today, four
okay,
5 years. Yeah,
okay,
blockchain.
yeah. A lot of people use blockchain too. Yeah, and then if you are like in a country where, but again, maybe we should take some steps back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
So because we'll just
Uh,
say wallet and wallet and wallet, and people may not understand. So
yes, and Brian, I
mhm.
want to say here, I mean, when you talk about that wallet, can you just Google up all those things that you're talking so people actually see it and speak to these things and know that these things are real?
Okay, yes, and also we are not financial
Zap,
advisors.
you
Let
said Zap,
somebody
or
not
what did you
go.
call it?
Actually, they can check
Yeah.
it. I will type it
Um.
here.
Let
I
me
will
make
type
a
it.
disclaimer here,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Maybe that's what Brian wanted to talk about. We're not financial advisors. We are just sharing our experiences. Like for me personally, I'm just sharing my experiences with Bitcoins and the benefits I've had. Maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow you might want to start trading and everything goes wrong. So,
Yeah.
so that's just the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Aside that, aside all the value that it gives, the market is very volatile.
Yeah.
Volatile means that it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. So you need it requires a certain kind of mindset to become a cryptocurrency investor because of the volatility of the market. The market is not standard.
So,
The more the today Wednesday, more people can do transactions on Bitcoin, the value goes up. Tomorrow Thursday, less people do transactions, the value comes down. So that's it. You have to understand these dynamics. So that is what makes the whole thing even more interesting because of the challenge. Because I think if it
Masala.
was just so good, 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 value, 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 a lot of people will ask questions and many people might not want to get into it because of that. So yeah.
Mashallah.
No.
I mean, and it's something that grows naturally. It's a spiral. You see, like spirals go up one time and then it comes down. And like if you look at the spiral, so that's one thing I really appreciate about like Bitcoin. Like I was saying that if you start looking into it, it will give a lot of value in your life. If you study and you love math, geometry, you see Bitcoin, the kinds of curves that it takes. Those who love statistics is demonstrating some very interesting properties. And
Exactly.
but to go back to like the roots of these things, uh, so I mean, like Kenneth was saying, um, it's like the internet. It's the internet actually. It's a network. You see.
Mm,
So what is the browser? The browser will be the wallet. The same way
mm,
on internet you use Firefox and you use whatever it is for you to connect to your Gmail and see your emails, your inbox, what you have sent. You could have a whole record of all the emails you have ever sent. You see, so the Bitcoin network is also a network like the internet that is built on top of money. So when they built the internet back in the day, it was built for scientists to exchange information. And then, like Kenneth was saying, there was a dot-com bubble, right? And boom.
yeah.
So many companies came up in the 2000s. Google is like almost like one of the first bonds of the internet to start um, implanting huge applications on the internet, then
Yeah.
Apple's and the Facebooks. So, but then there is the next step because then we've had the internet for sciences, we've had the internet for data. How about the internet for commerce? And that's what you just did, Isaac. You have gone to the internet and you say you want to buy Bitcoin. So there's another wave where you can be in Nigeria. Isaac is a journalist. And again, mark these words. You're a journalist and you deal with people worldwide. Now you give your bank account, and then it takes how many business days? Sometimes they block something and stuff like that. You see, but the Bitcoin network, if you use that, you have access to people all over the world who are using it. So imagine a farmer who sells cocoa somewhere in Ikonde Titi or Bukwai, right? Imagine them having a wallet. It will be their own bank. They can have access to financial services in the future because on this network, the same way that you can have access to map services, book services, YouTube services, you can have services to loans, you can have services to where you go give your own money, savings, and things like that. So it's a more connected world built on commerce. Built on commerce.
Exactly. Exactly. I think
Mashallah.
Brian really puts it really well, and
Yeah. So
like
then I wonder the paranoia, but again, the paranoia is still is there. It also creates the answer because in Nigeria, I mean, the government is not so happy about it. I mean, they are even liking it to what do you call it? They are even liking it to all these Ponzi schemes,
exactly.
and they try
Yeah.
to, yeah. I've heard the spokesman of CBN trying to say that these things have been there. They come and they are so fashionable. They make people make a lot of money, and then they go and they wipe away people's money. You know.
It's far from that. The government hates something that takes away their power. So because the decentralization of you trying to send your money without no intermediary, it's like you're hurting the government. It's
Hmm.
heartbreaking. So,
Hmm.
but I think rather than they complaining, they have an opportunity to do something about it. I
Yeah.
think government should be the ones regulating, or let me not use the word regulating, enabling the platforms that help people do transactions for bitcoins. This is how they can help impact and push people to come to bitcoins, and they pay taxes through that, and the
Yeah.
government makes some extra cash from it. But in Africa, it's like government official pushing you away from it. The more you push us away from it, the more it comes, and the more it comes like a wave, and the bigger the wave, by the time you know it, the wave sticks like it covers the whole sea.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So better that when that wave is coming, you're ready to roll with it. Rather in rolling,
Yes.
you get it from
Yes. You are ready to ride on the wave on this.
that
Yeah.
exactly. So with
Mashallah.
that, and that's what the government is not doing. And Bitcoin presents a very, very big opportunity, especially for the digital economy, for
Mashallah.
us to especially for some people like us, propose services to the government where you help a lot of people, a lot of individuals make exploit and have more value through digital currency.
Mashallah.
There's just too many opportunities, too many ways for us to go about this thing, rather than us sitting back and saying it's a Ponzi scheme, or it's something that it's taking money from people and stuff like that. No, no, no. It's far from that. Very, very far from that.
It cannot
Bitcoin,
be a
Bitcoin
Ponzi
is
scheme.
yeah,
Yeah, it cannot because let's go down memory lane. The first so again in 2008 when the American economy was going down, that was when Bitcoin was coming up because you would hear that the government is bailing out companies that are failing, and that's really a wrong thing in the free market. If you study like economics very well and you understand the free market, like people should be able to come in there. It's like the jungle evolution, right? The lion eats the antelope and stuff like that. Just imagine that there's a hunter there that, as the lion is following the antelope, the hunter shoots the antelope's leg. You see what I mean? The lion will go and bite it. So what
Hmm.
exactly am I talking about? You see
Hmm.
companies like Boeing and all these companies that are old, and they as they're going bankrupt, the government gives them money.